Ta-da! I nailed that perfectly. Hello,
You did.
everyone. Good to see you again. Welcome to Tuesday night's Q&A. I'm Clay, joined by the ever lovely, ever gracious, kind, sweet, patient, long-suffering E-Train.
Out of town E train. Yes.
Still broadcasting from one of our international remote locations.
I
This
want to
may be
come
the
home.
this may be the last time for a little while.
I hope so.
So
But
enjoy.
I have committed to coming back at least twice in the next 2 months. So
Or maybe
there's
more.
that. Yeah, y'all, if y'all haven't been keeping up, like I won't go into all that because that is a shit show. Somebody shoot me.
Let's just say it's been modestly entertaining for those of us who are able to track her activities from afar. So
A few of you know all the
n-
the
never a dull
haphazard
moment.
things going on. But yeah, it's been fun, um, and interesting, and yeah, never expected to be here for this long, but here I am.
But there she is, and here I am, and it's good to be with y'all. Good to see you, Jane,
And
Sky,
Sky is
Melissa.
here, and Melissa, all of our peeps, and we got 6 on Rumble. Hey, Rumble, if you don't be shy, ask a question. Tonight is Tuesday night Q&A, so I am watching as I look this way to the Rumble. So please don't be shy. Ask whatever you want. Any answers that you need, we're here for it. If we don't know the answer, we'll let you know and maybe make something up in the process, but we'll let you know we don't know. Clay's like, Ellen, shut up.
No, I'm actually just thought of something here, and I thought
Hmm.
I would try to find a picture.
Of
A house.
a house? What kind of
A
house?
house. A house.
A house on the hill?
House on the hill. Um, all right. Tonight is Q&A. So this is really kind of y'all's night. If you've got some questions or comments, this is pretty much an open forum on most any topic or whatever you want. Generally, my background is in, finance. Ellen's is
And,
in shenanigans. So we can
and
cover a wide variety of topics.
Clay has some medical. I've got some medical. I've got some marketing. I've got some um, Adobe background. Clay's got help me out. We've been divorced between the two of us 7 times. Is that right?
Yeah,
That
probably want to stay
relationship.
away from
We're
counseling.
awesome. We're awesome at those.
Can tell you what not to do.
Exactly.
So, uh,
Yep. And we're both much into the Constitution, law, um, your rights, your freedoms, all that good
we
stuff.
we spend some time on health related issues,
Mhm.
you know, in terms of the state of medical care, pharmaceuticals, food, homesteading. We even had a great show on solar cooking that
We'll come back
was
at some point.
removed. It will make a reappearance before long. We've got to edit a couple things out of it that the host company did not care for. So they just struck the whole damn video.
It is on Rumble. If you're on Rumble, it's still there. Or if you want to
Yeah.
go to Rumble and watch it, it
Solar
is
cooking.
there. Hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Sky, we might need Irwin tonight because Clay and I have both had a very busy day.
I've
Just
got a few
saying.
things to cover just in case
Okay, good.
y'all are mildly interested and have had a couple of questions emailed. One of them I tried answering earlier, but I think Ellen and the origin of the question were playing hooky, were gone, were passed out, or I bored them to tears. I don't know.
Wait,
But
wait.
it was
Okay,
on.
wait, Jane. So Clay said that he covered this reverse mortgage. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I told him he was probably in the weeds, and
and I,
we just got bored
and I lost
and
everybody.
started texting each other. So I don't know.
Well, the question kind of arose about reverse mortgages. In regard particularly to one house where it's having somewhat of an impact, fairly historical house. The Frank Lloyd Wright house in Chicago.
Okay, hang on. I got to answer this. It's back leg. Okay, is the food, is it just a dehydrated natural food, or is it something else? Mosquito bites
If it's
normally don't irritate dogs. Like they don't itch like we do. Their skin is 7 times thicker than ours.
Yeah, and if it's a food issue, there would probably be itching all over rather than
Mm-hmm.
just one small location. So it may be some other kind of bite, spider bite, something.
Tick bite, something.
Yeah.
Because sometimes even if you have like the front line or the tick defense, whatever you use, they can still bite them and then they die. But the bite of a tick can still make them itch.
Yeah. So it's probably, something like that. Hopefully nothing serious. Just check and see if there's any kind of inflammation.
Mm-hmm. Jane, I don't remember seeing anything on that. Me either.
Yeah, y'all were playing hooky or something.
Oh, come on.
Or I got in the weeds, as it's referred to graciously.
Well, that was kind of Secret's thing. Weeds.
Yeah.
You're in the weeds.
Well, this is the
No
house
worries.
designed by Frank Lloyd Wright in Chicago. And I don't know if most of you are terribly familiar with Frank Lloyd Wright, but he was an architect, the father of the modernist school. And
sorry. I will wake Biden. Yep.
Okay. And father of the modernist school. And so his houses that he designed have a lot of historical significance. It's kind of interesting. A lot of people don't know that he also would design the interior, the furniture, the placement of pictures, what plants go where, every detail inside the house, as well as the building architecture, because Wright was obsessed with creating. He understood that environment determines attitude.
We have a little OCD.
We experience this in a kind of an everyday way. If you go into a clean house, do you feel better than you go into one that's just has a hoarder in it and it's dirty and dusty and messy and pet stains everywhere?
Well, God,
It's
yeah.
just a different vibe, completely different vibe. Well, Wright understood that, and that was his art. That was his creation, trying to create an attitude with his different designs and houses. And that's, one reason why I love him. I love architecture and how it impacts people. I always am drawn to the example of, for example, the old great cathedrals, the Gothic cathedrals in Western Europe, or even Eastern Europe.
Yeah, well, now 2 have been burned down, Notre Dame, and there's another one.
Another one caught fire.
Yeah.
I haven't heard whether they know it's arson or not. I don't know yet.
What do you think?
I don't know yet.
I mean, it's been how many hundreds of years since they were built? And they're just catching fire?
Accidents do happen.
Oh, come on.
You could have It's like
That close together.
yeah, it's like the Johnny Cash house in Nashville. After he died, it obviously was put up for sale. I even thought about trying to buy it, and because I liked the setting, obviously thought it was kind of a cool house. But one of the Bee Gees bought it.
I'm sorry. Apparently, Biden cannot be woken. She will call 911 after the show. Well, just let us know how that turns out.
Yeah. But he was having it remodeled, and one of the workers was smoking on site. Of course, it was a wooden house, completely wood. And, with all the painting and the volatile fluids around and everything, and there was a worker smoking. Apparently, he dropped his cigarette or something. A flame erupted. And that was it. The house burnt down. It was gone. That kind of stuff happens on occasion. So until I know for certain whether or not it was arson, I can't say. But Frank Lloyd Wright House, it is, most of his houses were built, I don't know, 20s, 30s. And so they're getting old and they need some renovation, some updating. Well, this house has been tied up in an estate issue with a reverse mortgage. Now, the question was specifically dealing, with about reverse mortgages, and this house was given as an example. And I forget a lot of the details on this because I did this, I don't know, a month or so ago, a couple months ago. But the city and the Frank Lloyd Wright Foundation wants to take this house over and finish the renovations because it's, suffering damage from rains and age or whatever. It's been years since it was occupied. But they can't because it's tied up with this reverse mortgage, and there's some legal complexity, and forgive me, I forget exactly what it was. So it's still all tied up in the courts and estate, probate or whatever those issues are. Now, a reverse mortgage, what's a reverse mortgage? You know how a regular mortgage works. You borrow money and then you make monthly payments on it for usually 30 years at some fixed rate of interest. So your payment is fixed. Well, reverse mortgage is just the opposite. Instead of making payments, you start receiving payments. Like once you retire, this house, retired, had no kids, nobody really to leave the house to, but it was a sizable investment. So in order to enhance their retirement, they entered into a reverse mortgage. So the company that, did the reverse mortgage was making monthly payments to him or her, the resident, and then the resident dies. So at that point, whatever is remaining on the reverse mortgage vaporizes. It all goes, or that value goes to the mortgage issuer.
Okay, I'm going to try to make this simpler.
Sure.
So if you have a reverse mortgage, they may buy your house for the full price amount, correct?
It's a negotiated value.
And then they send you the payments, even though they're making payments, they will send you money because when you die, they're going to get the whole house and the whole value of the house.
Yeah, well, part of it would be if there was an existing mortgage, they would pay that mortgage off and then pay you the difference.
Right.
So, they pay off the current mortgage, or a lot of people already have their house paid for, and it's the only way they can get money out of it now. Because a lot of people on fixed income, as they get older, their income doesn't increase enough to match inflation, the increasing cost. So a reverse mortgage is a way that they can increase their monthly cash flow
So
and
what they
still
do,
live in their house.
they buy the house, quote unquote, from you, pay you monthly payments,
Yes.
correct? And
Yes.
then when they pass, the house is theirs.
Right.
There you go. Okay. Um, I have got, hang on, two things. I have sent you one, and then I've heard this is a better article, so I'm going to send this to you via email.
Which email?
Work about the burning down of the churches in France.
Okay. Well, I don't
Wait,
have
what?
time.
No, it's just there was one that 400 churches had been. No, wait, hang on. Damn it. Okay. There's a map of all the churches that have been vandalized in France or burned over the past recent years.
Trying to open it now.
Okay.
Okay, this is not actually the map, but a picture of the map.
Yes.
So I can't blow it up.
But that
But
is not a coincidence.
nonetheless, that's pretty damn impressive.
It's not a coincidence, I don't think.
These are all the churches that have caught fire. I don't know over what time period.
I'm
Let's
looking.
see. Snopes has it miscaptioned.
Well, okay. They're all accidents. Okay, whatever.
Hold on.
So we're reading this as you guys are. So
What they are saying is
okay, from Princeton. Okay, website. Did you see that?
it covers 2 years between 2017 and 2018, according to Snopes, which sometimes Snopes is a little wrong, but we'll go with it.
Shut up.
Yeah, we'll go with it. This map documents some relatively serious crimes, such as arson or the toppling of church statues. Many of these pins respond to graffiti-related incidents. So Snopes is saying, hey, stuff actually happened here, but it's not all the churches burning down, and we don't know who did all of it.
Yeah, it's just vandalism in some cemeteries.
Yeah.
But come on, people. Common sense.
And then there are also, here's one from the U.S., 400 hostile acts against U.S. churches since 2018, 57 tied to abortion. So.
Why would you? I'm sorry, but a life is a life, and I just.
Yeah, I don't want to, get too far off track trying to talk about reverse mortgages here.
Sorry. I thought we finished that. No?
No.
Oh, here we go. Erwin, we got him.
There's Biden. I think he's talking about his much loved Kamala.
Yes, he does love her.
So.
And then the whole thing with Brazil, which is just another shit show. I would have sent you a picture that I saw today, but it would have been graphic and probably not allowed by YouTube.
Okay. Listen, not everybody is ADD, so let's stay a little bit on target.
No, we already finished that.
So, anybody have any questions about reverse mortgages or
before we move on?
Frank Lloyd Wright. Like I say, as last time I looked, this still was not resolved, and this house was still in a deteriorating state, which is a great tragedy. So
there's actually a Frank Lloyd Wright house in Wilmington in Landfall.
Landfall wasn't even around when he was designing houses.
It is a Frank Lloyd Wright design though, and it looks a lot like that one. It is.
They might have replicated it, but it's not I don't believe it's a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
He probably didn't build it himself, but it's one of his designs.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Wait, damn it.
Just to be clear, if you're still alive and they've made all the payments, you can still stay in your house. Yes. The payments generally are over a 30-year period. Also, the inverse is true. If they make one payment and you die, they still get the house. They don't have to cough up the rest. So that's kind of the trade-off there. And it normally is going to work in the reverse mortgagee's favor.
Of course. Well, there's no other reason to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm with you, Erwin. I feel you. No, your heirs do not get the rest. The company that you do the reverse mortgage with gets all of it.
Yeah, and most people that I've seen do reverse mortgages don't have heirs, such as this couple in Chicago, or they're estranged from their heirs and they just don't care. So rarely do I see.
Or they're not estranged from the heirs and they still don't care. Either way.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah.
You said they were estranged, I said, or they're not.
Oh, well, that's kind of the same thing. If you don't care, you're kind of estranged from them. You're distanced from them.
I guess.
But nonetheless, I haven't seen one where somebody has a close relationship with their children or other family members. Usually something else can be worked out. Even get a second mortgage and live off that capital. It just depends on the health and age of the retirees.
Now, Erwin, I'm with you. I wish we would talk more about this stuff, but Clay is not the political human. No offense.
No, I don't. Well, I don't mind doing it some, but most people kind of tune into this show because of the discussions involving finance, the markets, money, whatever. Now, this is Q&A.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, this is Q&A. So, this is the night. If we want to get off topic, I'm good with that. We can do that. I do want to, though, at least finish whatever we're talking about before we start throwing out and going in 10 different directions. That's just
thinking we're done. I don't know. Is there anything else?
Well, that's just me. I mean, I like to do one thing, finish it, go to the next, do that, finish it, go to the next, and finish that. I think if we're all talking about 5 different things, it's hard for a lot of people to follow that conversation and know which points are addressed to which.
Really?
So, yeah. Including you. There have been times you've gone, what are you talking about?
Just because I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can admit it. It's fine.
And the election is a big deal. Joe, we call him Joe Biden. He and Sky Dogs have a YouTube channel. Yeah, he have a YouTube channel called Dogs Discussions. Hence the nick. And sometimes on there, he will do an imitation of Joe Biden. So we just refer to Erwin as Joe Biden because it's not a bad imitation. And, something that hasn't got a lot of attention lately, speaking of that, is U.S. weapons and missiles are being used to attack Russia directly. And yesterday, Russia stated that if that continues, it'll start firing back, or strongly indicated that it would start firing back at the sources of those weapons. So, when Erwin talks about, close to World War III, We literally are one snap decision in Russia away from NATO getting involved in the conflict.
We have sent weapons to Israel, to Ukraine, the ones that we left in Afghanistan. God knows where they are. They're all U.S. weapons. So that is just a shit show waiting to happen.
Yeah, but Ukraine for a while didn't have permission to use U.S. weapons to attack Russia. I mean, how would we feel about Al-Qaeda being in Mexico and Russia supplying them with missiles to attack LA, Houston, Atlanta?
Oh, we don't have
Whatever.
to, because they're already in the United States.
No, I'm talking about, Ellen, I'm talking about if missiles were launched and dropping on U.S. cities, not just, people crossing the borders.
They will.
Yeah, I'm saying our reaction would be pretty damn severe. We would be pissed if Russia was supplying missiles used to attack the U.S. That's a whole different league.
We would be pissed, and Kamala would say, "Dadgummit, let's give them some more money."
Yeah. So, but that's the risk we are creating right now. And, like I say, if it was us having missiles fired at our cities, suppose there was a drone attack on Moscow going for the Kremlin. What if there was a drone launched from Mexico that hit the White House or the Capitol building? What kind of reaction would we have? Can we blame Russia for feeling any different?
Yeah.
Do we really need to start a war with Russia?
Do I want one? No. Because China backs up Russia. Russia has nukes.
Yeah, you need to understand, Putin won't lose a war. He will not be the first Russian czar, emperor, president, or whatever to lose a war the last 100 years. He will take everybody down with him before he loses a war. If Hitler had nukes, would he use nukes to defend the Third Reich?
Yeah.
I'm thinking he would.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of leaders out there that care more for their country, their people, their pride, their dignity than they do about world peace, obviously.
I agree with this quote, and I'm going to go get a piece of pizza. So hang on.
A piece of pizza? I have no vote, so opinion is independent. We're close to World War III because we have weak leaders. If Russia believes UKS may win this war, they will nuke Ukraine, and Cam will say, please play nice. Yeah, it's hard to predict the future. I just know that things are getting worse, intense, more intense. And I know how we would feel if we were being attacked by Russia. If we were at war with Mexico and Russia entered in on the side of Mexico and was supplying them missiles to attack the U.S. I just think we're at a very dangerous point in that regard. All right. Today, Tuesday, was kind of a big day in the markets. Don't know how many of you, exactly followed it, but the stocks kicked off the month of September with a hell of a dive. September historically is the worst month of the year for markets, kind of, so the first trading day in September obviously wanted to live up to its reputation. And some of it is kind of interesting. There wasn't any really huge release. Now the ISM came out And we'll talk about that in a minute. But looking at the net results, you had the Dow down 625 points or 1.5%. You had the S&P down 119 or 2.2%. You had NASDAQ down 577, 3.25%. VIX is a measure of risk in the market, of volatility in the market. Did you get your pizza?
Mhm.
Can't hear me? Take a minute for her to reconnect. Well, VIX is a measure of market volatility or risk. So if the market goes down, VIX goes up. So VIX was up 33% today. Hell of a jump. Now, of particular interest, NVIDIA was down nearly 10%. Meta was down nearly 10%. Apple was down 3%, Microsoft 2, 2.5%. The Mag 7 on average was down a little over 9%. Mag 7, if you remember, we've talked about the S&P 500, how 45% of the total market cap of the S&P 500 is due to the Mag 7, the Magnificent Seven, the top 7 stocks, and how they had accounted. Ellen, you okay? I'm going to mute your mic there. I don't know if she's got the hiccups or what, but she'll be back with us shortly. So Mag 7 took it on the chin, and NVIDIA took it on the chin. The thing is, NVIDIA was down 10% today. No news on NVIDIA. No news. But in the after hours, after the market had closed, the Department of Justice reported it sent a subpoena to NVIDIA related to its antitrust investigation. So basically, the stock fell 9% on no news after a modestly good earnings release Friday. So my question is, who knew? And if you look at it for the fun of it, NVIDIA dropped $280 billion in value today. $280 billion. That's the largest one-day drop for any stock in the history of the market. The drop continued in the after-hours trading, down $360 billion in one day. Loss of value, $360 billion. It's hard to conceptualize of numbers that big. Now, one other thing that I thought was kind of interesting, our beloved minority leader in the House, Nancy Pelosi, dumped her entire NVIDIA position yesterday, a day before news of the antitrust investigation was released. Is that outstanding investment management or what? An entire position. Other asset managers have been reducing their position, maybe. A few of them, some not, but a few of them have. No, Pelosi cleaned out her entire position. Now, keep in mind, insider trading is only illegal if you're not a politician. Sectors. If we look at what happened in the market today at different sectors in the market,
looks pretty dim.
Yeah, it's kind of ugly. You had tech, both electronic and software. You had finance, you had retail trade, health, energy, manufacturing, all pretty much, as you can tell, got slammed. They all got hammered. Rough day in the market. So how would I sum this up? Well, looking at this, you can look and say that, stocks were crashing like the tech bubble has popped. Yield curve inversion increased. This is the yield curve. Now, I've talked about this a few times before. Oh, we've got a stranger on.
Not a stranger. What are you
Susan.
talking about?
Hadn't seen you in a while, Susan. Good to see you again. Okay, this is the yield curve. The green is the yield curve as of today. The kind of, I don't even know what color I would call that, the taupe, is as of a month ago, the 1st of August.
That is barely visible on my screen.
Yeah, I don't know that I can do much to enhance it, honestly.
Yeah,
But
Erwin, I
down
think
here,
Clay might buy Nvidia tomorrow. I will wait for World War III and cash out at this point because, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I probably won't be buying much of anything tomorrow. Not going to lie. But if you'll notice, this bottom half, this bottom portion shows the change in difference.
You'll buy lead.
I'll always buy lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lead is always a good buy.
It's nice to see you back, Susan.
It is great to have you back. And Susan's, a longtime member of the family, back from way on back when. So
from the very beginning.
Yep. So really, really glad to have her back. Main thing is you'll notice the current rates are lower. This is actually in basis points. So this is 5%, 4.5%, 4%. And this is by maturity. So this is the 1 month, 2 month, 3 month on down to 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 7 year. This is 30 year. Give you a little idea of the structure of the chart. And as you can tell, all of the interest rates have shifted downward since Powell announced they were going to do a rate cut. But if you notice, that shift downward has been greater in the short end than in the long end. So the yield curve is flattening a little bit, but it's still highly inverted. Kind of like inflation's not done. And, inflation's coming back, which is what it has done when the Fed, you got to remember, inflation's still about 2.8, 3.2%, depending on which index you use. It's still 50% higher than the Fed's target of 2%. So inflation is not under control. And if, we saw last week how the money supply is now increasing again for the first time in 2 years. Interest rates are being cut. Does that sound like it's really going to continue to put a damper on inflation, or is it possible inflation cranks back up in, a couple of months or so? You be the judge. Energy prices are falling, kind of like we're in a recession, even though oil inventory levels are the lowest they've been in 7 years. Gold prices are falling like all is well. Bitcoin fell like it's the least evil asset to own. It dropped the least. So the bottom line, all these different assets, all these different risk assets, all fell. It's kind of like investors are running away from risk assets. So I want to say investors are getting concerned over economic growth and monetary policy. But after the last year or two, I'm not ready to give them that much credit yet. So, we'll see what happens over the next few days. Obviously, I have not been terribly bullish. I realize that, when the Fed cuts initially, the market jumps a little bit historically, but given the specific conditions we're in, and some of that we'll talk about a little bit more as we go through. But remember, a week ago or two, I showed where, the Fed cut rates after sustained hikes after unemployment had started increasing 4 times since 1970. And then I showed the drops that had been occurring after that, average of 30%. So if we look at history, that gives us a big red flag, a big warning. And then throw into that, you've got the Middle East war, you've got the war in Ukraine, you've got Russia feeling like we are attacking her directly. You've got the election, going on, which I kind of think doesn't matter who wins, people are going to be mad. The other side is going to be really mad. What's going to happen with all that? You've got we've talked about the Venezuelans who've taken over apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado, and Chicago now. What's going to happen with that?
Yeah. I want to answer this one. The U.S. weapons companies making big money selling weapons. That's not where they make the most money. They make the most money rebuilding the countries. I swear to God, Ukraine's going to be the 51st state. Rebuilding what has been destroyed as well as selling the weapons. I would never, it is scary times, Susan, but I would never invest in military drone companies because I do not want to feed the machine. But that's just my personal point of view. Clay? What?
I was going to say a lot of people will, use their money in support of their particular ethics. And, that's kind of what we advocate on the show is we just want you making informed decisions. We just want you to have information that you can make better decisions. Now, me, if I see an opportunity, I'm taking it.
Yeah, I have more moral issues with opportunities than Clay does. He's like, money will be made. I'm taking it. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't support that. So I'm not going to do it. That's where we differ in our stuff.
Yeah,
it is. But the NGOs are destroying our country. And that is where I take issue. And I've told you all this a million times. Since 1700, my family has fought in every single war for America. And I just can't invest money in anything that goes against our freedoms. I just can't. Like, it makes me want to vomit just thinking about it. I can't. My family's lost too many people, too many homes, too many whatever. And I can't. Clay can, because he just sees opportunity.
Well, what I do is I can't really judge people's morals. I always try to stay away from that. I can judge their actions. I can't judge their heart. So I don't know what their true motives are. And
True.
I can't find a perfect company morally to invest in. So, where do I draw the lines? What is big enough evil?
You invest in Ellen Carson Lee. I have good morals. You can't disagree with that.
Yeah, but the cash flow from that is all negative. Yeah.
But hey, if you want morality, you're probably going to lose money. It's just like.
Well, I think there's a fine line, I don't
I don't
invest
know.
in, prostitution, whatever, gambling, drugs, that kind of thing. But when I say I don't invest
Oh,
in
but you
drugs, would I
do.
would I buy pharmaceutical companies?
See, you
I,
do. You just
I
don't know that you're doing it.
well, can I
And your
finish?
conscience is clear. Sorry.
Yeah. So, if some of the research and data coming out, for example, on the vaxes is accurate, and from what we can tell now it is, if I had investments in, Pfizer or all I can think of is Monjuro. What's the Moderna,
Moderna, Johnson and
Johnson and
Johnson.
Johnson,
Hmm.
in these companies, and was that immoral? They have products that do a lot of good. They have some products that end up being bad. Where do I draw the line? Do I just not invest in pharma? All right. How about healthcare? We had doctors recommending this vax and putting people on respirators and putting COVID patients in nursing homes,
And
on down the list.
remdesivir that would freaking
So,
kill you.
so do I not invest in healthcare? Okay. How about chemicals? Well, they supply the raw goods to the pharmaceutical companies. Okay, so I can't
No.
invest in chemicals. I'm just saying this is
If we,
how I view it.
I
I
know you,
cannot I cannot oftentimes divide that line.
you are a
So I don't
capitalist.
try.
I'm a
Huh?
moralist. You're a capitalist. I'm a moralist. I will not invest anything in any company that has any interest in either destroying the food, the medicine, the healthcare, the furthering of people suffering, or anything that is against America. That is my line. And I know
Well,
you're
then,
like,
no, I
so
could
yeah,
make
I
the
don't
argument.
invest. I just do like, mutual
I could
funds
make
and
the
try not
argument
to.
that there's nothing left for you to invest in.
Well, I
That's
know,
my
but why
point.
would you invest? I think people should take a stand and say, you know what, companies, screw you. We're not doing this
Well,
anymore.
are companies more likely to listen to you when you own their stock or when you don't?
Clay,
You have
80% of all of the companies in the United States are owned by four companies. You know this.
no, they're not.
For investment.
No, they're not. That's a mislead. That's a wrong, outright wrong
Uh-uh.
statistic. Yeah,
Vanguard, State Street. Come on, really?
they don't own them. They
They
manage.
own the stock
No, ma'am,
portfolios of them.
they don't. Legally, they don't own the stock
They manage the stock portfolios and own most of the shares through their shareholders. Is that better?
through the shareholders. The
Yes.
shareholders own the fund, own the stock.
But they
The
make the
management company simply supplies the manager and has a contract to manage that fund.
Moffat. Would you allow a weapons
Ellen,
company to advertise on your channel for $5,000? No, I would not. I would
Erwin,
not. Clay Wood,
Erwin,
I
have
would
them
not.
call me.
Yeah, I would not. Clay Wood.
Yeah.
That's where he and I disagree until the end of time. I mean, I own weapons. I have my concealed carry, but no, not one of the military industrial complex jackasses. Hell no.
All righty
He's
then.
gonna, he's gonna mute my mic soon.
No, I only do it when you're typing and it's really loud coming across, or when you darken your screen and you get up and you're hiccuping,
Oh wait, can you hear
or
me? Because my
yeah,
mic is muted here. Okay. Oh,
that
hi.
mic mute does not work. You have to do the one on the screen.
Gotcha. Well, that helps. And give to poor. The poor will all be dead, Erwin. I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
Erwin, you're not going to change your mind.
no.
You're just
Mm-mm.
not.
But we can
She's
invest in mushrooms, of course. Like I have principles. I have
wait,
standards. I have morals.
that's a drug. Some mushrooms are used to poison people. That's probably an arm of the military industrial complex.
Oh, fuck off. He's just being an asshole to me.
I just point out inconsistencies. That's
It's
all.
not inconsistent. Do
There are
I
just
own a
lines
firearm?
there that I can't draw. I can't draw.
Your line is the dollar sign.
No, it is not. That's almost contemptible for you to say.
But you just said that you would be like,
No, there's a lot of things I have not done for money, and you know that.
I know that, but you will invest. Okay. You are like killing me now. Better come to Canada. We help people like
You.
invest in a dandelion farm. I could do that.
What's the cash
That's
flow
how
from
Santa's
that
reindeer fly.
farm?
See, that's what Clay wants to know. I just want morals. People to be nice.
I don't need investments like the Ellen Lee stock that have negative cash flow. That's
it
not
helps
good for my
people
retirement.
Be kinder to each other.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Alpacas.
Alpacas.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought about getting
See,
some alpacas.
isn't all that better than like weapons and medicines?
But alpacas
just
can be kind of
saying.
mean. They're probably agents of the military industrial complex.
Fuck.
How much did that dandelion coffee cost? There you go. I don't even know. Ellen never told me that.
$12. $12 freaking dollars.
Are you serious?
See? Who is my moral leader or hero? Or when I have found that I found that I am the only human that believes the way I do. I don't know. No one can quite stick to my moral code. See? For fuck's
Stop
sake,
killing
Clay.
dandelions. You can make $12 selling coffee. You know, it is not bad. You know, I wouldn't call it necessarily refreshing. It's more of it, for those of you that have never tried it, it's more of an earthy kind of taste. It's kind of like heavy coffee. So if you like that, you'd probably like the dandelion tea as well. But $12.
And the girl
for
I'm
a
staying
pack.
with had COVID and her throat was killing her. And Jane was like, get her dandelion tea. Talk to Clay. I was like, we're getting her dandelion tea. She was like, it helps so much. And then I did the things that Jane talked about with the onions and the honey and we'll talk about that later. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, I mean, my moral leader or hero is just what's in my head, or it's just what I think is right, what I believe to be right. And most people do not agree with me.
But she'll have no problem giving you hell about it, as
Some
you can
priests
tell.
agree with you when they are not acting immorally against. I listen. I mean, I just want everything to be right. People to be kind to each other and not screw each other over and not invest in things that are fucking over society. I mean, that's just my take on it. So
I actually
Thank
like the
you.
differences between you two.
We have a lot of differences between us.
We
There's
have a
no
lot
doubt.
of differences, yeah. And you know, still friends. That's kind of
Mhm.
like why we do the show, because you can respectfully disagree with somebody and still be friends.
Yeah.
So
Clay and I, I've been gone since before my birthday, which was the 14th. I've been gone since what, the 10th or 12th
probably.
of August. And he and I still talk every day. We still text several times a day. We are still great friends. We don't agree on everything. That's just, I'm sweeter than he is, but that's okay. Um, you'll be like, shut up. It's okay to
Uh,
march to beat your own drum.
I'm not
Absolutely.
arguing.
I mean, that's just, I, you know, I try to look at everything from everyone's perspective, and that is exhausting, but it, I can't, I can't judge anyone on their decisions, but I can judge people on making decisions if they know that it's hurting someone else. Ellen pretending to be, what? I am innocent and naive. Clay will tell you this. I am like, he laughs at me. He's like, "Are you retarded?" Like, no, I just believe the best in people.
Yeah, Ellen has a sweet nature. Sometimes she and I don't agree on her communication skills.
Oh, they say.
Sometimes she will say things that maybe could be worded differently,
So do you.
but never. There's only
Tact
one
is
truth.
not your skill.
No. But I have learned to shut up. If I'm going to say something, I will be direct and honest.
I appreciate
I've
that.
found out that there's a lot of things I just don't need to say or engage in. So,
No, like, it's,
one of the things I love about this community the most is we don't all agree, but still respect and love one another. And
and
that
I
sums it
hope,
up, I think,
yeah,
perfectly.
I hope that Clay and I give like an example of that.
Yeah. And, there are times when we get a little irritated at each other,
Super
online or offline.
irritating.
See, who's more tactful now, Ellen or me? Anyway, we have modest differences, but it passes shortly. And
It does.
we still respect, love each other. So that's ultimately what we encourage. We may not be
Mhm.
perfect examples of it all the time, but
Like I
that's
said,
still the
behind the
goal.
scenes, we text each other every day. We talk every day, even though I'm not there. It's like, okay, what's going on? How you doing? What's up? Okay, I had this issue. All right, well, can I help? I mean, it just, you know. Anyway, wait, I was gonna do that one. Wait, no, no, it's just that I believe
Yeah.
in this
Oh,
sort of reality that doesn't exist, but I hope it does somewhere, somehow. I
yeah.
believe the best in humanity and the best in people.
I'll say this about Ellen. She has a very sweet nature, a very sweet spirit. Now she can be intense too, but
Oh yeah.
she has a sweet spirit. And there are times like tonight where I would make what I would consider to be a rational argument that there are no clear lines in this morality as I perceive the world. So I don't try to draw those lines. Ellen will see those lines clearly, even if it doesn't make sense to me, even if, as she describes it, I can't see or draw those same distinctions. And vive la difference. It's not an act, it's not pretense. She just has different gifts than I do. I,
Oh, where'd you go? Moffat? You left me. I don't know what he was trying to say. Okay. Moffat. No, but I'm not pretending to be in high school. I actually do have like a really, believe it or not, a very high, maybe mythical or fantastical um, vision of the way the world should be. I think that we should all just love each other, and even if we disagree, that's okay. Clay and I disagree all the freaking time. I mean, that is what we do. It is kind of our thing. And we do it on here sometimes to a fault, and we apologize for that. But I guess I think Clay would tell you I see things in a more, I don't know, maybe a kind unicorn way than he does. I'm not as negative, or don't see things, or I try not to see things in such a negative way. I just like to be honest and true, and I really hope that most people do. And if they don't, then I'm going to be super disappointed. um, I just, I hope that all of this BS just kind of goes away, and that people can be kinder and sweeter and nicer to each other and not argue as much about the stuff that is not actually helping us at all. Oh, hey,
Hey,
you
back. I
came
got
back.
kicked off twice.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
cuter
know if
than you
it's
are.
yeah, agreed. I don't know if it's my internet or what, but
All
got
right, I
booted
think
off twice.
we lost a few things. So here we go. You're both moral. No, we don't have a shareholders agreement. We're friends, and we do what we do. Draw rainbows and unicorns, I would laugh in your face. No, I mean we love to irritate the hell out of each other. You two should start a cult. How to live honestly. I know, right? Um, Ellen, you are kind. Oh, thank you. Y'all are sweet. Um, it's all the people. If you made $1 million doing this, would you share it or sue each other? No, we would probably share it. We would definitely share it, but probably donate a lot of it. Don't you think,
Yeah,
Moffat?
I would hope so. We have already taken some things and tried to help people where we can,
Mm-hmm.
and I would expect, we both would want to continue that.
Yeah, I mean everybody needs some help. Everybody needs a little bit of loving.
We all get
You
by
know,
with a little help from our friends.
yes, we do. And who isn't a friend? Like, really? Ellen, oh, y'all are so sweet. Y'all, you're gonna make me cry.
Okay, y'all are sucking up to Ellen way too much now. Y'all actually are doing a good thing.
Thank you.
She she needs a little encouragement sometimes.
Thank you, guys.
So, and I'll thank you too. I agree with you. All right, Ellen, you're not stealing all the limelight. Sandy
Sandy,
says I'm
I've
sweet
missed
too.
you. I have missed you, Sandy. I hope that everything is okay, and text me.
And absolutely, it's good to see Sandy again. So, and Melissa, we both love you.
I gotta take a minute.
So, it is, I'm not kidding when I said Ellen has a sweet and gentle spirit. She can be a little ornery. Sometimes she words things, a little different than I might like, but ultimately just can't argue that she has a big heart and a very sweet and gentle spirit. So, I'm proud to count her as a friend. All right, well, let me get back to talking a little bit about what I know. The market. I can't tell you how, we were talking about Nancy Pelosi dumping her whole position yesterday before today's trading and before the DOJ announced that it was issuing a subpoena. So kudos to her exquisite investment timing. Now, all the sectors, risk assets. Okay, I'm trying to get back on track here. All the sectors risk assets had a rough day. Bitcoin probably had the easiest fall. Now you will hear people saying, buy the dip, buy the dip. We'll have new highs by the end of the week. And the insane thing is, my opinion, the insane thing is they may be right. There remains some anxiety over the jobs report, which will come out later this week. People are kind of wondering what it will say. But with what we know of the numbers over the past 2 years, remember, they just revised the previous year's 2023's payroll by 818,000 jobs, plus the other 400,000 that they had already revised it by, where they were off 1.2 million jobs. That's 48% of all the jobs. With that kind of accuracy, who cares what number they publish this week? Who in their right mind can have any confidence in that number is anywhere near accurate? I don't. So I can't say I'm hanging on to that report, but the simple fact is the market cares. The market is looking for that number. So we'll see what it holds. I cannot tell you what will happen in the market tomorrow, but I can tell you what the history is. So let me start this back up since I got kicked off. This is a chart I stole from some guy. I don't know who he is, but it basically graphically represents what I was telling you earlier. Guy by the name of Brett ETH. And this black is the current movement of the market. Now, these other colors, you've got green, blue, red, and kind of the purple. These are previous markets in the last 4 cutting cycles when the Fed started cutting interest rates, when unemployment was rising and the yield curve inverting. Okay. So this is 2000, 1995. I forget the exact years. But you'll notice, given the conditions, unemployment rising, the yield curve inverting, then the Fed does its first cut. You see the responses of the market over the next 13 months graphically. Now, the black line is where we are now. You see the green, it dropped down about 14%. That's the smallest drop. The largest drop is 50%, near 50%. And I'm pretty sure that's 2000, 2001, which you also had not only the market dropping from the dot-com bubble, but you had 9/11. So that's pretty severe. The other two were roughly 50% and 30%. The average is around 30%. That ought to, give you a red flag. Again, I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, but I can tell you the economic data is getting worse. The ISM report came out today, Industrial Services Management, Survey of Industrial Manufacturing. It was weaker than expected. It showed manufacturing in contraction. That means manufacturing companies are producing less and less for the 5th consecutive month. And actually, it's been in contraction since October of 22, except for 1 month. The report also showed inventories are higher, stuff's not moving, prices they paid are higher, future inflation, new orders are down, demand is down, employment laying people off. None of that is good. What else? There's other things going on in the country. Credit cards. You have the two lines here. You have the red, which is small banks, banks outside the top 100. Then you have the green line, which is the top 100 banks. And as you can tell, these are credit card delinquency rates. The credit card delinquency rates for small banks just hit an all-time high and going higher. Large banks haven't hit all-time highs, but they're increasing steadily, rather modestly, rapidly increasing, almost exponential in the rate. Now, think about it. These small banks, quote unquote, are the regional banks who work mostly with small companies and medium companies. So if they're seeing ma and pa firms, small firms, mid-sized firms become delinquent, increasingly so on their credit debts, that's a pretty strong indicator of what's to come economically. Not only that, increases the risk to regional banks. Remember, banks don't handle losses well. So if they're seeing, commercial real estate defaults, if they're seeing credit card defaults, if they're seeing personal bankruptcy defaults, there's only so many losses they can cover. So another red flag. Okay. This to me is something that's kind of concerning. This is jobs. It's actually looking at the jobs created by government versus the private sector. You'll see the green line. 3 guesses as to which one is government, which one's private sector. Your green line's going up, red line's going down, steadily down since 2022, early 2022. Green line, steadily increasing since the start of the year. Government jobs are increasing, private sector jobs are falling, crasher. Government jobs surged just about to all-time highs, except for COVID. Private sector jobs are deep in recession territory, 6-year lows. This is a picture of what expanding government and contracting private sector look like. If it continues, that portends a rather grim future. Welcome back, E-Train.
Hey, I got the 3 puppies with me.
Yeah, we saw Mac's head bopping up there. There's Max.
It's Rudy.
Max /
He's a good
Rudy.
boy. I'm a good boy.
He's going to miss the hell out of Ellen when she leaves.
He is.
I wouldn't be surprised to see her bring him back.
That would be stealing. I can't do that.
But it's an animal.
It's still stealing.
An animal that loves you.
I know. I love him.
And you'll be back. You'll be back, in a month or whatever. So you're just borrowing him.
Oh, stop it.
Morals. That damn moral things then.
Yes, emotional. This is my new emotional support puppy. Where'd he go? Rudy. Come here. I don't know where he went. Oh, he's back there. Okay. I got these 2 idiots.
And then those 2 idiots. The happy idiots.
And then the big boy. Hi, Bubba.
And the big boy.
He's right there. Hey, Rudy. Come here. You're a beautiful boy where you get. There you go.
Anytime I talk to Ellen, Rudy is never far away.
No, he's not.
She has a new buddy.
I do.
Yeah, we were just talking about, economic trends, trying to get some sense of where the economy's headed and maybe, thinking the market would not be far behind. We've looked at history, how when how did the market react after unemployment had started rising and then the Fed cut rates. Average drop 30%. We looked at the growth in jobs. It's all in government.
Y'all are
Which
sorry.
think about it. If the private sector is shrinking, that's fewer and fewer taxpayers. So who is going to pay for all the government jobs if taxpayer base keeps shrinking? Who's going to pay for Social Security? Who's going to pay for Medicare, Medicaid if the private taxpayer base keeps shrinking? Because if taxpayers aren't paying, private sectors aren't paying in taxes, the only way government can afford all of that is to print money. Yeah, I did just have a hiccup, didn't I? Sorry about that.
Yeah. So okay, I've been asked this question so many times when people hear what I do, right? They're like, Social Security. Let me just give you I know we're not there, you just said it, but
it's okay.
If we would let or allow people to invest, we've talked about this before, invest in a mutual fund, whatever, they would make out way better than with Social Security, correct?
Yes, far better.
Okay.
Far better.
So how do we make that line in the sand and say, okay, Rudy, stop it. It's the Australian Shepherd outside. The Snassage is barking. But anyway. So where do you make that line in the sand and how do you make it work?
What line in the sand? You lost me. I'm not sure.
When you start allowing people to invest or forcing them to invest into like a mutual fund, right? Where do you start that?
Oh, how would we switch over to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if anyone ran like an investment fund, like the government has run Social Security, they would be arrested. Like it's so fucked up.
Yeah, I remember. I can try to find it or do it again. If I took everything that I had contributed to Social Security and invested it in the market, looking at the average returns. Now, remember, out of my salary, I pay 7.5% in Social Security tax. The employer matches that. So I took 15% of my salary through the years and looked at investing it in the market at average rates. And I forget whether it was $12 million or $32 million that I would have by the time I reached 65. Now, let's just take the 12 million to be conservative.
That's a lot more than you're ever going to get through Social Security.
Yeah, if I just invested it in a T-bill and got 4% on it per year, that would be $480,000 a year. Social Security will pay me $4,000 a month, $48,000 a year. Plus, when I died, my heirs would have the $12 million. My return on Social Security, unless I live past 120 years, will be negative. So I would have been better off taking what I put into Social Security and putting it in a coffee can in the backyard, earning zero on it.
True.
So to me, the first thing to do would be to show Americans the math and show them that Social Security is a negative investment. for them, that they can have a better retirement if they invest their own money privately.
Now,
Then,
also, sorry, go ahead.
then you've got to figure out how to pay for it. Because if you let people not contribute to Social Security, you've still got all the people who are already own Social Security.
So how do you make that difference, and how do you convince people, or do you just, how do you
Well,
make them invest in like a mutual fund?
couple things. Well, first of all, you got to take care of the people currently on Social Security. You can't cut them.
Right.
Most of them are struggling to make ends meet as it is. So you have some sort of separation, like those people, and I don't know what the ages are. I don't have all the data. I haven't run all the numbers, but just to give you some general structure, anybody that's 55 or older would still be entitled to 100% of their benefits. Anybody that's 45 to 55 would be entitled to 50% of their benefits. Everybody under 45 would be on their own. And so you would tell them that, well, first of all, the employer would start paying those people under 45 the full 15% that had been going to Social Security. And you would require that that money go into an expanded IRA. So they would then have to invest that money in the IRA, however they wanted to. If they only wanted to put it in a bank, fine. Again, we need to educate the people on, the differences in return and the differences in the future. Hopefully, most would choose to invest in the country, in stocks.
Do you see Melissa's comment?
No. Wait, Americans can do math? It's a small group, so we got a lot of work educating the people. But I don't think you could get all this done if you didn't have the majority of Americans backing it and understanding that it was in their best interest. So you have to shuck these things down to the cob, show them the alternative. Here's what you get if you're in Social Security. Here's what you get if you do this expanded IRA. The bottom line. So when people look at that bottom line, they might get a whole lot more curious and want to pay closer attention to the numbers.
I mean, if the money's going to be taken anyway, put it in something that's going to be more beneficial to you.
Yeah, and the country as a whole, investing in the country. Now, you would have a shortfall in Social Security funds. So you have to make that up out of general revenues.
But isn't
borrow the money, whatever.
Isn't that cheaper than continuing Social Security?
Well, it depends on the underlying assumptions. It's going to be expensive as hell. There's no easy solution. I don't have an easy solution. I don't have a perfect solution. But my plan protects those currently on it. It protects those that are close to receiving it who don't have enough time to invest their own money. So, and like I say, I don't know exactly what the numbers, the ages should be to make the math work. I don't have that kind of data and haven't had the time to run it. It would be a pretty intensive calculation. And could you move that sack away from the microphone? It's really loud.
Oh, it's not actually close to it, but
yeah, whatever you're crumbling, it's really loud.
Well, our dogs eat fruits and vegetables, and Rudy is not used to that, so I had to give him some.
Just move the bag away.
I'll just give him another, and then we're done.
Okay. So
I want the dimes that I was forced, to invest in Social Security. Don't we all?
Yeah. Again, for those of us that are older, we'll never see a positive return from Social Security unless we live to an exceedingly old age. That negative return is only going to get bigger and bigger for young people. And those are the ones we're screwing over. We've got to do something different because they won't receive Social Security. The math just does not work out.
So
we have.
Go ahead.
Real quick. you know, when Social Security has started, we had 200 people paying in for each recipient. That number has dropped through the years to 2 to 1. So if
Why?
I'm getting lower birth rates, aging of society.
Borrowing from the fund.
No, it wouldn't change it. This is the number of people paying in to the number of people receiving. That
So
doesn't
you're
change.
saying that the amount of money that each party has borrowed or spent from Social Security would not have made a difference.
Oh, it would have made a difference in paying if that money had been invested and saved. It would have made a difference in how long we could go, but the math still doesn't work out. When you have two people paying in for each recipient,
Mm-hmm.
like if I'm going to receive $4,000,
Mm-hmm.
then every worker on average has to pay in $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year, plus whatever overhead administrative expenses there are.
But I mean,
Now,
like
if society continues aging and we have fewer and fewer young people paying in with more and more old people, that 2 to 1, it's gone from 200 to 1 to 100 to 1 to 50 to 1 to 20 to 1 to 2 to 1. And that 2 to 1 is going to drop to 1 to 1. So you have one person paying for each recipient. The amount of money they're going to have to pay is hugely significant.
But didn't the government take out money from the fund in the 70s, 80s each time?
Yeah. It does not have a trust fund. There is not a real trust fund. That money's been spent.
But that's wrong.
That's wrong. Yeah. But that doesn't change the demographics, which is what I'm talking about.
But if there was money there to pay that was borrowed, taken, whatever, it wouldn't be such a problem, correct?
Actually, it would be, because that doesn't change the Social Security assets. It changes the nature of the assets. It doesn't change the value of the assets. For example, the Social Security Administration has lent, I don't know how many billions, let's say $1 trillion to the U.S. government. Well, the government wrote an IOU to Social Security, sold them a bond. So the Social Security has $1 trillion bond.
But they'll never get paid back.
Yeah, the government is going to have to pay them out of general revenues or print more money, which is what it's doing.
Which means it's not worth shit.
It wouldn't change any of that.
Okay.
Susan, you'll own nothing and be happy. Yeah.
And you'll eat bugs. Chunk.
I don't know how many of you have seen the Twitter. But I'm starting a new movement. The Great Resist. They will own nobody and they will be unhappy. So feel free to join the Great Resist.
No, thank you. I'll eat the dandelions. I'm with you on that one.
So you are going to pull up the dandelions.
To eat them, yeah, just not kill them. Phoenix worms are high in calcium.
What with health and nutrition value.
What are Phoenix worms?
Health and nutrition information available in abundance on this channel. How cool is that?
We're doing the things, man. We're trying to help everybody out. That is brilliant, Clay. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I got this idea from somebody on the webs. I don't remember kind of where. So I can't take all the credit for it. But hey, I'm cheering it on. The Great Resist.
Do you want the rinds? Like, what are you looking for? Okay. He's going to eat orange rinds.
That'll work. So does everybody understand what I was trying to describe with Social Security?
Yeah, I just don't see where, but I guess they never invested the money into anything anyway.
Just yeah,
Which
they gave them an IOU, so
you would
the
you
government
would
has to pay.
you'd be arrested if you did that.
We would,
Yeah.
but it's like, Nancy Pelosi and insider trading. It's not illegal if you're a politician. They are black soldier fly larvae, dragon mum problems. Actually, I
Protect your bunny.
protect your bunnies as well.
Mm-hmm.
I saw most of y'all know or are aware that when I get ready to retire, I'll probably move and do a little homesteading, probably have some chickens. Well, I also, found a way to grow soldier fly larvae to produce them and to feed the chickens. So I will actually also be cultivating and growing soldier fly larvae.
Oh, good
James,
Lord.
summing it up, become ungovernable.
Yep.
A little revolution sometimes is good for the soul.
I'm amazed at the amount of people that I find that are conservative or even liberal who are like this whatever's going on is not right. And how do we,
Whoops. Okay. Y'all be my witness. I did not do that. I think it's StreamYard just gets a glitch or something and is kicking us off. She's obviously rejoining us here, but
I don't know what happened there.
I didn't do it. Yeah. Same thing happened to me twice.
Anyway, yeah, they just don't like us anymore. But no, where was I? Yeah, they just don't know. They're like, well, what do you do? Like, how do you fix it? And it's like, you got to be pretty much ungovernable. Like, you've got to move out to places that they can't cut off your electricity or your water or, oh, no, chonkers, or anything else. And you just kind of got to do your thing and be who you are, what you are, and don't accept anything other than what, too many dogs, than what you stand for.
Yeah, I believe in a
Do your
pendulum.
stuff.
I believe human nature is kind of like a pendulum. It swings far to one side and then it starts swinging back. I hope, pray, whatever, that the pendulum is starting to swing back. I think more and more people are having issues with what's going on in society, the increasing violence, the increasing poverty, the increasing corruption in government officials in both parties. I think there is, I hope, and I see some of it in the young people, particularly the men, the young boys, 18 to 22, 24, are becoming much more independent, conservative, let's say. Now the girls are becoming more liberal, which is kind of an interesting dichotomy to me. I don't know why one would be becoming more conservative, the other more liberal. But
because they're sick of it. They are sick of it. They are sick of being taught that they are toxic masculine.
Yeah, that they're just toxic individuals, that they're to blame for everything. I think there's a natural reaction to that, but it seems like more and more of the females are embracing that. So I don't know how that ends up. Don't know. But if you look at the polls, that's the left's biggest demographic.
Yeah.
So
the soy boys.
No, the females, particularly white females.
Females and soy boys. Yeah.
Yeah. So
all right, Melissa. Well, now you have a whole other market available to you.
The soldier fly larvae.
Yes.
I'll
Mhm.
have enough chickens where they'll pretty much be consuming them all.
I agree. StreamYard it had kicked me off as well when I was with you guys. Yeah, it is. It is. It's so frustrating. Heck, let them cut my electricity and water. I'll be fine, and I'll be right up there with you, honey. Okay, Erwin, come on. Bring that straw. Drink fresh snow. Come on, dude. I got to stop drinking on the show, or at least sipping from a straw.
Eating
I'm
pizza.
so late. I shared my orange things or whatever they're called, clementines with the babies. Anywho,
Go. Forgot where I was.
I did too.
That's all right. No, we don't. Anybody have any questions over anything we've discussed or rambled about? Has definitely been a little bit of of an interesting time,
It's been a random evening for sure.
which is good for Q&A.
It is.
Ellen,
Huh? Thinking out loud, I guess I will cancel them. Tell Biden to settle down.
and if you haven't checked out Dogs Discussions on YouTube or Love Pug Circus on Instagram,
Please do.
you need to go
on
check
Etsy.
those two out,
On Etsy.
or it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you have a chance, if you will, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't to the channel. Help us, with the YouTubey things. We're on Twitter, Moffat on Money,
Rumble,
or
subscribe,
Rumble.
whatever.
Yep.
Follow, do the things.
Follow on
Notifications.
X.
Ring that bell, as Secret used to say.
Yeah, secret.
And I really, Sandy, I'm so glad that you popped in. I do miss you.
Sandy and Susan.
No, Sandy and Secret and I used Secret. Sorry. Help Sandy, kind of with being a mod, and it was very cool. And I was kind of there for it, introduced them, and it's just been kind of a cool thing to watch. So
yeah,
I love you, Sandy. Secret, you're missed.
Yeah. So, I'll point this out as well. Looking at weird things or things going on in the economy as a whole, something that hadn't gotten a lot of attention is Airbnbs. If you follow, a lot of their booking rates have dropped. And here's a post on Reddit. Hello all, new host for about a month, and my bookings have completely fallen off a cliff. I've had not a single inquiry in 15 days, even after lowering the price dramatically, changing photos, descriptions, etc. Is the area just too saturated? Is September that bad in Florida? And it's not only in Florida. A lot of other, around the nation, Airbnbs are hurting. And think about it. We talked about auto loan defaults are rising, credit card defaults are rising. Commercial real estate is a huge problem. Well, think about all the people who took out 15 or 30-year loans to buy some property, convert it into Airbnb rentals, but now aren't getting any bookings. And do they have the savings or the capital to last a year or two with zero bookings, particularly if a major recession hits? Well, boom, you've got another real estate crisis brewing, particularly in some of the major states, Florida. Austin has seen a bunch of people move out. Austin, Texas. Some of the major cities, California, if it does the reparations, which it looks like it's going to, if it does the 150,000 free loans to immigrants, like it looks like it's going to, you'll have a lot of other taxpayers leaving there. So, if you're a real estate mortgage holder, you might want to be very careful of what areas or territories you hold mortgages in. And if you hold it in some of these high value areas, you might have some risk there. Again, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the market tomorrow, but I can tell you there's some problems. Another problem.
Hang on. Susan, so glad to be with you all tonight. We have missed you too, honey.
Really good to see you back. Hope to see you again soon.
All hail the squirrel. Yes, she's still always in my mind and in my heart, and I know she's in yours too, Melissa, and in Sandy's.
Yeah, for those of you new to the channel, Secret was our first mod, and she was a very popular mod on some large channels. And of course, we were just getting started.
And one of my best friends.
Yeah, she became one of your best friends. And she was a huge supporter of the channel and was determined to see it grow. And so she, was the first mod for the channel, and she passed shortly thereafter.
No, she was my best friend before she was a mod for our channel.
Yeah, but it was all pretty quick. It was all about the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And
about a year before, yeah.
And so she was amazing. She had a lot of friends all over the internet, and was kind of my first experience with being online like this. And I was kind of shocked, kind of amazed at the close friendships you can form over the internet. And, that's how we got to start referring to, our regulars as family, because you really do get to know the people, and you hurt with them and you celebrate with them. And, if somebody has a problem or needs some help, we all get by with a little help from our friends.
Yeah, she was magical, and she was the kindest human being I've ever met in my life. I mean, she just had no scorn towards anyone. And well, there was one person, but y'all know who that is. But yeah, she was just the most loving human and the kindest human. And I guess during 2020, during COVID, she and I started talking online and just kind of became best friends, and talked to her 30, 40 times a day. Yeah, she was amazing, Susan. She was freaking amazing. And Melissa, I know you knew her, and it was just awesome. And she is always missed. I think about her every day. She's on my phone, on my screen. When it comes up, it's like that's Secret. So yeah, God bless her.
Yes.
And I know she's looking over all of us, and she's just doing all the things, trying to make everything good for everyone who knew her. I know that.
Yeah, she will always be remembered fondly, and not just on this channel, but on many others. Yeah. She was just that kind of person, had that kind of impact. So we were, very pleased, very proud, very happy to have had the opportunity to get to know her and to love her and to be loved by her.
And she used to give Clay crap all the time. She was like, tell Clay to get lights for his shelves. We're going to get those working again soon. But I did get the M welded for him. We worked on it a long time, but yeah, there it is. So yeah.
And she was the one that came up with originally with the Clay, you're getting in the weeds.
Yeah. So she was like, if any of y'all think that Clay's getting in the weeds, just type weeds in capitals. And then he gets mad now. He's like, that was Secret. She was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And the Endless Podcast, who does not need help. I think everybody in the world does need help. I mean, I can't think of anyone that I know who's just like, I'm good. We're all broken in some way, shape, or form, in my opinion.
Everybody has little weaknesses or hard times or moments or insecurities or whatever. So,
Mhm.
in that sense, everybody, but there are times when people just get pushed to the limit.
And I think we all do at some point, and then that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's when I think that, I mean, that's when you need to reach out to us. I mean, like, you can email us, reach out to us on Instagram, or I guess we don't do Instagram, do we?
Yeah.
Or on X
Twitter,
or
X,
YouTube.
or
Yeah.
Gmail.
Or Gmail. And just let us
mopcomoney@gmail.com.
know, because, I mean, y'all know I would do anything for anybody. I am a bleeding heart, and God knows I will do anything for you that I can. So agree about help. Thank you. Community is what has been, well, thank you. We keep out all the problems, and Sandy has helped us a lot with that when I was too afraid to do so. So Sandy is the best. She's, I know she's always there. Like, she doesn't always show her face, but I know she's always watching. And God bless her. I love her. Push the limit if you move his golf clubs. Oh, good Lord. Okay, Aaron, I'm breaking up with you because I would move everything. Clay will tell you, and you'll never be able to find it.
Oh, absolutely. Ellen does the best job cleaning of anybody I've ever known in history.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I mean, Ellen clean is like a standard. Little
Yeah.
dirty, deep down cleaning kind of thing when she does it. The problem is the way she gets stuff like off the counter is it's just somewhere. You never know where. When she has
It made
cleaned, it
it
is a
made
great adventure
it
trying to
made sense
find
to
my
me.
stuff.
It made sense to me at the time.
At
Now,
the time being the key words.
if you ask me where it is, I might not know. Oh, honey, and I love you too.
Yeah, and so like, we clean different. When I'm cleaning, I find something, I think, oh, I need to put this up. So I take it to a place where I know where it is. And then when I'm at that place, I see something else that I need to do. So I do that. And then, so I'm always stringing out, I have a hard time getting back to my original mission.
It's called ADHD. You have it too.
So I'm not for a guy, I think I keep a pretty clean place. It's nowhere near Ellen clean.
Well, because I get hyper focused, I'm like, there's this thing here, and it's got to go. Like, I got.
But when I put something up, when I put things up, by God, you can find them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
when I do, I can tell you the area it might be in. I love you, Scott.
Yeah, it's like a 1 in a million chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance you might find it.
There's a chance.
This area. Mm-hmm.
And occasionally I'll stumble across something and I pull it out and I just hold it up and just look at her. Like,
why is this here?
What the hell?
Oh. Biden has 10,000 golf balls. Well, I can tell you what to do with those, but he might not like it. Clay's like, I'm not going to say a word.
Yeah. Did I mention earlier I've learned to keep my mouth shut at times?
Yeah.
Okay, since I got this up, let me go ahead and do this.
Wow, color and colorful straws. Oh, Lord. Y'all got to stop. Erwin, behave.
And does Biden have a 7 handicap as well?
I missed something there.
Trump and Biden arguing over who is the better golfer. Yeah.
Trump.
I think Trump has a 7 handicap.
Do you need some help, honey? I'll be there right with you.
So much I could
project.
say now, but I am not going to say it.
I know, right? Let's see. I have a friend with 25. Oh, God. For some reason, I was thinking 25-year-old balls. Okay. Son, who's autistic, and one of his greatest loves is golf balls. Oh, my goodness. And just
We need to introduce him to Erwin.
handicap. I'm not sure which that was responding to. Okay. So, I am looking into doing some resin things. So, do you think, Melissa, that the son that's autistic would like golf balls in a resin river, so to speak? Y'all are no. I'm really thinking about this. This is like the next art project I want to do, is to make like a tabletop or something that I want to have like live edge wood, and then like water. But if you think that would be cool, then I will be glad to do that. Yes. Okay. Cool. Awesome. So that's my next art project.
All right, Sky. We know where you can ship some of those balls.
Mm-hmm. But we have plenty. Don't you have golf balls? Moffat?
He's not here.
Y'all, welcome to my world and my life.
Of course, honestly, I don't think I have that many. And
it would just be like a river of them.
I don't
like,
have.
No, I'm talking about like this big by this big with 2 live edge.
It would take 200 golf balls, 300 golf balls. I don't have that many.
No, I just need like 5.
About what you're talking about, but we can do something.
Yeah.
But my thing is, haven't played golf often or much.
Mm-hmm.
I've only played probably 10 or 15 times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But the courses I have played include Shoal Creek, Spyglass, Pebble Beach, Pinehurst, and St. Andrews. So what I lack in quantity, I make up for in quality. For those of you who are familiar with golf, you'll recognize those names. For you not, that's 5 of the top 8 golf courses in the world. I have not played at Augusta yet. So if anybody out there is an Augusta member, you're my new best friend. Give me a call.
That would be my brother. You're welcome. And good luck with that. He has fancy ones that he keeps, the crappy ones that he wears down until he gets to the center. No, I think it'll be cool to like have like a little desk or table, right? With 2 live. Yeah. Because lots of people hit them into the drink. I'm just saying. Okay, that's. Moffat.
It lost you for a second. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Melissa said so cool. She had me.
Sorry. All right. I threw this graph up. Let me at least explain it real quick. Like I say, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the stock market tomorrow, but I can point out kind of general directions in the economy.
Mm-hmm.
And this shows the number of people holding 2 or more full-time jobs. Full-time jobs, 80 hours a week. The number has reached an all-time high since the early 90s. It's only about as far back as the data goes. 465,000 people are working 2 or more full-time jobs. So that's never a good sign. You know, that we haven't even started to touch the number of people that are working part-time jobs, working 2 or 3 part-time jobs. So a lot of those out there as well. One thing that I thought was somewhat interesting, we talk about government and government spending. Well, this is from Senator Mike Lee out of Utah. He says that today, House Speaker Johnson attached the SAVE Act to the spending bill. The government has 27 days to pass a spending bill, otherwise it shuts down, which before an election probably would not be good. So if I understand things correctly, Johnson, by attaching the SAVE Act, now the SAVE Act is the bill that mandates in order to vote in federal elections, you have to have an ID. And Democrats are adamantly opposed to that. So if I understand things correctly, the Democrats in the Senate who control the Senate, have the majority votes, can either approve the bill with the SAVE Act attached, or they can reject it, which would probably shut down the government. That's kind of a fascinating strategy. Remember, all spending bills in this country, all spending bills have to originate in the House. So the House is able to, attach it and send that bill over. So we'll see. We'll see. One other thing that I thought was cool. Anybody recognize who this is? Ellen, your mic's off. Can't hear you. Can read lips, though.
Good, because I just cursed. Kramer.
Kramer.
Fucker. Sorry.
For all of you that care, Kramer turned bearish on Bitcoin. So stock up.
I swear to God, whatever he says is absolute opposite. And you told me this
He's
a
consistent.
long time ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no freaking way. Because I was taught to believe in what he said. There is nothing he says that is true. It is all BS. I've learned that the past 6 years. He is consistently wrong.
Pebble Beach, I think, is $650 per round. Yeah, when I was there, I had a corporate expense account, and I believe it was $750. And then Spyglass was $450, I think. It was not cheap, but privileges of having a corporate expense account.
I'm going to let you go through the next couple.
All right. Probably safer that way.
Mm-hmm.
Erwin, maybe you can sell them your golf balls. I don't know if he'd be willing to part with his balls.
Next.
We need to show if there is an ad. So obviously rational.
Ads. Yeah. Kramer, yeah.
Jim Cramer, yes. Total opposite of what he says. Yep.
Absolutely. Do whatever he says to do the exact opposite.
Yeah, you could make money doing that. So,
I know. We could make money making bets against what Jim Cramer says.
Yeah. So,
oh,
anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do. My ring just broke.
Uh-oh.
The Yerman. Can we fix that?
Probably need to take it to a jeweler to have it fixed.
Yeah. A piece just broke away from the. Okay. Sorry, y'all.
It's
We're
okay.
doing this piece.
Yeah, I really can't see, so don't worry about it. But we'll take a look at it when you get back.
And then, yeah, we got issues. That's not good. Because I don't know where the diamonds are on it. Anyway, sorry.
You can come to Canada to use all those balls.
Y'all, really?
You know, I always heard it was have balls will travel.
Y'all, okay, I'm out.
I think we're all pretty close to out.
I gotta make sure these diamonds are all still there and figure out my ring.
Yeah.
Does
We all
anybody
listen.
know?
Just want to thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you being with us. Do the YouTubey things.
Hang on. If anybody knows anywhere that you can actually get a glasses prescription filled that is not with the place that you purchase the glasses, please let me know. Send an email to moffatonmoney@gmail.com.
Yeah, she's got some frames she needs a prescription for. But
People
the
won't fill
places
them.
we know of, people won't fill them because you didn't buy the frames there. So if you know of somebody, let us know.
I will.
Night all. Ellen, get a bag and ring in.
I will. Definitely, because I'm like freaking out right now.
It is really good to see everyone.
We love you guys.
Susan, Sandy, Joe, always good to see you. Sky, Melissa, Jane. Those of you watching that did not chat, hope you will next time. We appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a good week ahead. We'll look forward to seeing you Saturday. And hope y'all have a great rest of the week. Until then,
absolutely,
our time is up. We thank you for yours. Good night, all. Blessings to you.
Night, night.